you touched on something that is almost a sore point to the Afrikaner people or the Afrikaans-speaking community, is this issue of cultural diversity and language diversity. So we are very proud of Afrikaans, the Afrikaans language, the depth of literature and everything, the fact that it's a scientific language. And we want to preserve that, and we want to have education in Afrikaans. We want people to be able to study in Afrikaans. And unfortunately, we don't have that. We don't have the same phenomenon with the other indigenous languages.
100%.
So there's some talk about Zulu education at the University of KZN and so forth. But a lot of, and to put it very bluntly, a lot of young black people opt to study in English.
Yes.
When the percentage of young Afrikaans people who want to study in their own language is much higher. Now, part of the reason is the Afrikaans language is more developed as a scientific language. But this leads to some form of a conundrum for us, because the solution to us is to say we need to develop mother tongue education. We need to get these other languages up to par. We need to have our children should be able to study in their own language and so forth as well. But that then gets interpreted as, oh, we see what you're actually trying to do. You're actually trying to make sure that people are separated and so forth. So it's almost a lose-lose. You have to, you should either be some form of a separatist, or you should be willing to lose your language.
Yeah.
And it's, you can't choose an option that is not controversial or that would not lead to some form of friction.
That's to people that are not solution-oriented. There are people that have a problem for every solution. Yeah. You're like, okay, guys, here's the land. Yeah, but we don't want this land. We want that land. Yeah. Okay, you can have that land. Yeah, but we need money. Yeah. Okay, here's some money. Yeah, but we don't have access to market. And you're like, okay, so you've got a problem for every single solution. We've got solutions for you. You don't want them. We're saying, here's an economy that was built by whoever, the Afrikaner community. If you want to participate in this economy, learn Afrikaans. Go to Soltech, learn a skill, and then you can work here. No, we don't want Afrikaans. Okay, then let's help you develop your own thing. No, but we don't have an economy. Okay, I don't know what you want from us, right? So I will say this on a platform, then it will be, there he is defending his white people, etc. But it's a pragmatic conversation. That what is it that you claim that you want? And the sad thing that I've come to accept about, I think, most human beings, they will go with whatever's the loudest speaker. By speaker, I mean megaphone. So if it's a politician, if it's a celebrity, they will go with that. And human beings are highly emotional. So if you sell them an emotional narrative, that becomes what they go with. And it's always easy to point fingers at a villain. One of the ministers, I think last year, if it was not Tulindiwe Zulu, I think buildings collapsed or buildings were burning, and she was like, it's apartheid. Yeah. And you're like, this is wild. These are buildings you guys were meant to maintain and make sure, and it's like, you always have to have a villain, and it's not going to be you, and you're going to use emotions. So people aren't into solutions. Black people in particular in this country are not having the right conversations. If we want to preserve indigenous languages, isiZulu, Sesotho, Sepedi, etc., in the global modern world we live in, languages thrive where there is a material benefit. So I'll use maybe the taxi industry as an example. The taxi industry is majority Zulu. That's why people will tell you if they're not Zulu that, Zulu taxi drivers are so rude. When you go there, you don't speak Zulu, they ignore you. It's almost the same you'd say about, this Afrikaans farmer, I spoke to him and he started speaking Afrikaans. This industry has a language. Same way if you want to go to America, you need to speak English. If you want to go and do business in Germany, if you want to go and do business in China, there's a language that they have. If black South Africans want to preserve their languages, at least in the modern world, they must then build economies around those languages. And if they're not willing to do that hard work, they will revert to English, but then they don't bash English. They'll bash the next person, which is why I also always found it funny that in June 76, black kids were fighting against Afrikaans, but not against English. They've never marched to say we don't want to learn English, but they marched against Afrikaans. And for me, I think at that time it was whoever was running the Afrikaner program didn't do a good job. You were meant to do it like in a softer way to get people to buy up. But yeah, it's a complicated one, and we could go on forever.